Hey everybody, and welcome to this brand new episode of Vlog Reviews. Today I'm talking about SongBringer. I was going to try and do a full indie zombie review on this, or at least try and get my impressions. So these are my impressions after about probably 2.5 hours of recorded gameplay. So here's what I think. SongBringer is very much trying to be like a Zelda game. Like, straight up down to the gameplay and the way that you gain new items and use new items and walk around and semi-explore. There's not really that much to explore, sadly. It's a pretty big freaking map, but there's just not a lot to really see or really figure out what to do. The combat is, it's very Zelda. It's fun. The story, you're a party explorer who was out with your crew of friends on this new planet, or on this planet that you were just checking out, and your hoverboard got struck by lightning, and now you're going around to try and find your friends. Of course, that doesn't really come up till later, because when you first wake up, you walk into this cave, like, same exact way Zelda starts. You go and you walk into this cave and discover this sword that then starts this whole chain of reaction where these evil monsters awaken and you have to go and fight them and also fulfill some sort of a prophecy that happens to involve you to some extent, and then you're able to get back to your ship, which is just orbiting around the planet, and you find out that a couple of your other shipmates or friends that were also down the planet with you have gone missing, and so that also becomes part of trying to find them as well. I was enjoying this game for the most part. The combat is pretty fun. The game looks really good with its with its heavily pixelized art style and everything. The music is pretty cool. The one problem that I was basically running across was I didn't know where the hell exactly I was supposed to go properly. I mean, first dungeon I came across, seemed to get me in the right order, and then dungeon 2, of course, but then, I was having some problems with dungeon 3 in terms of trying to get to the boss and then figure out how to activate particular switches and stuff like that. Then finding out that you need this meditate ability, and that's another thing. You get a lot of shit at one point, and I mean, some of it becomes pretty self-explanatory. Like, there are stuff that you'll just always be equipped with that will help you out. Like, you'll have your sword, but you can switch your sword out at any time that you want. What is nice, though, is that you're able to use a multitude of different items that you just assign to every single different button. X, triangle, circle, and even the R buttons as well for all your different items. What becomes, kind of annoying is how to unlock all the different things that start coming up. Like, at one point you get a meditate ability that, you then find out that you use at these weird pyramid things that will give you this item that you can't use. And I don't know what the hell it does. Of course, the game doesn't tell you about a lot of what really anything does until you use it. Like for some things, like the weird drone things that you get that are supposed to detect bio readings, and then it'll show you that on the map. I'm not sure if that means that it'll indicate where a level is or something like that, or a dungeon or anything like that, because it didn't really seem to do anything like when I would use it. And then there are just, like, when I was having problems with the with a second or third level dungeon, specifically with the boss, it took me a while to actually find a store where I could buy a healing potion, pretty much, or a spirits flask, in order to fill up said flask that I already had. But thankfully, once you're outside the map, it'll kind of tell you where everything is, but even then, it's a bit of a guessing game as to where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do in order to unlock or access anything. And so it stopped being quite a bit of fun pretty quick to me. What was also kind of annoying too is that I'd be wandering around and there would just be all these paths that would just lead me to just dead ends. You know, like, why would you have a stairway that just leads nowhere, that's then, you know, cut off by these bunch of trees and bushes and shit, and, you know, and have a path that just, you know, leads you out into this lake area, and then there's really nothing to do, and such things like that. Yeah. I mean, I thought the story was pretty interesting. Some of the items are kind of cool. Like, you have one healing item that only, like, restores, I think, like, one heart of health, or your courage, really. Where when you take it, it's supposed to be, I guess, cactus juice, or at least a cactus is what it's described as. And when you first get it, it works as a hallucinogen, which then, because it also plays into, like, one of the trial dungeons that you get at one point pretty early on in the game, where your sword is taken away from you. And you have to go around and kind of figure out how to solve this puzzle. And you have to do it while you're on cactus, while you're kind of high. And that's also where you get, I think, the meditation ability. And, you know, so that was kind of cool, but it can be kind of distracting at times when you're in the middle of a fight and all you have to heal yourself is cactus. I mean, it's not, I mean, it doesn't, like, blur the entire screen or anything like that. But also, like, every time that I had to use it in order to heal myself, I kept wondering, like, so are you supposed to use it when you're stuck, and then maybe it'll show you a particular path that you weren't aware of that you need to go? Like, for example, the blink ability that you get at one point, you can apparently use that to cut through corners, like, in between objects and stuff like that. Really would have loved to have known that earlier. Because there was one dungeon where I was trapped after getting this chest or this key item, and all these other pillars just appeared all around me, and I couldn't get out. And I tried using bombs, which normally you can use to blow them up, but I was just trapped. And I was thinking, like, was I supposed to get trapped here, or was this a mistake? And then I found out that, oh, I could just use the blink ability to move in between them. Really would have liked to have known that earlier, but yeah, so that was an annoying aspect. Some of the combat starts to get pretty repetitive, especially when so many minor enemies in the open world take so many hits until they die. You get a projectile sword, of course, at one point that still, you know, just activates, you know, with your main sword, so you don't have to worry about switching it out or anything like that, but it only does really like half damage. And I mean, it says it only works when you're at full health, but I found that it just seemed to work just about all the time. Like even when I was low on health, it would still work sometimes. I mean, this game was fun in the beginning, but then I just got really bored with it, specifically because I didn't know where the hell I was supposed to go, or really how to get anywhere, or how to activate anything a lot of the time. And then just finding out that, oh, items that you already have are, you know, have like double uses and stuff like that. But it doesn't become apparent to you until you actually try and do it. And that was just too damn tiring, and I stopped caring. I forget exactly how much this was. This is probably a $15, $20 game. I was playing this on the PS4. If you have any interest in it, you know, go ahead and check it out for yourself. I think the art style is great. I think the music is great. It can be a bit distracting at times, either because of the lighting or just because of how things look, where you'll lose track of an enemy at one point, or you won't know if if where you are, if you're about to walk into a wall that is not a path or whatever, and such things like that. So that's kind of annoying. Me personally, I don't really think I can recommend this, but if you have any interest in it, go ahead and check it out for yourself. Well, there you go, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed. See you next time.